this episode of Incredible Vacation Videos, a woman is caught up in the thrill of a high-speed sprint boat race when suddenly the boat goes wild and she goes from spectator to target.
I thought I'd killed somebody. I saw little kids. I was personally just screaming. It was bad.
A wild man rolls into the record books by somersaulting where Paul Revere made his famous ride, land rowing across Bali, and going pogo up Mount Fuji.
It's one of the most beautiful natural sights in the world. And I just hopped on my pogo stick and started jumping. And it was just thrilling.
And a father and daughter face down death when a cable car breaks high over the mountains of Brazil. Dad could only watch and pray as his 10-year-old daughter risks her life as she leaps to rescuers. And there's lots more to come right here on Incredible Vacation Video. High-speed racing means high-octane thrills that can turn dangerous in a split second.
I thought I'd killed somebody. I saw little kids, and I was personally just screaming at what I had done. You know, I thought it was bad.
A sprint boat race nearly turned deadly for a woman who was watching these daredevils from what seemed like a safe distance. As the boat jetted through the Snake River in Clarkston, Washington, its driver lost control. Suddenly, this wayward vessel rocketed out of the water and crashed into a crowd of spectators 30 feet up an embankment. What was a speedboat is now a 1,300-pound unguided missile, and there's nothing the driver, Fred Carpenter, could do about it. With literally no time to react, 26-year-old Holly Barclay was pinned under the sprint boat. Miraculously, Holly survived her crushing blow with just a separated pelvis and a cracked rib. Emergency services were standing by, and Holly was rushed to the hospital. And Fred Carpenter actually walked away from his horrific mishap. Amazingly, Holly had only concern for Fred after the incident.
I told him that I will heal, my bruises will heal, you know, but he saw the other end of it.
Organizers said that the freak accident was a 1 in a million chance, but that safety barriers would be installed if sprint boat races were ever held at this location again.
Since it has happened like this now, where we found out how far those boats can travel on land, up a steep hill even, I'm sure that probably the racing at Swallows Nest Park is done.
This is Labatt Raceway, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Maybe the only thing more thrilling and more dangerous than sprint boat racing is sprint car racing.
Here we go.
And when that road is made of dirt instead of asphalt, the thrills are even bigger and the spills even wilder. These open-wheeled, mega-horsepowered mean machines travel at speeds up to 120 miles per hour around a quarter to half-mile banked dirt oval, slipping, sliding, and swerving every inch of the way. The crowd was enjoying the thrills and chills when one of them captured a particularly wild spill on videotape.
Goodness, holy crap!
Driver Dean Herman was taking his car down the straightaway when havoc struck. Dean's car literally flew out of control as it became airborne, bounced off the center wall by the infield, and crashed down into the pit.
We have got red flag conditions, an unbelievable crash here tonight.
Even more horrifying was the fact that a crew member was standing directly in the line of fire.
There was a guy right underneath that car, too. You see that?
Fortunately, at the last moment, the man saw the car come barreling toward him and scrambled out of the way, just barely being grazed by the car's front tire.
I'm speechless, Alan Green. That was scary.
Emergency crews worked for several minutes to tenderly extract Dean from the twisted wreckage of his race car. Amazingly, after this unbelievable incident, neither driver nor the crew member suffered any major injuries. Coming up, it's hard enough to climb mountains any which way, but we've got a guy who doesn't just go, he pogos. And just why are these people sliding down this mountain on planks of wood, dressed like old-time gold miners? Stay tuned to check it out. When Ashrita Furman travels to exotic locales, he ignores the obvious tourist attractions and becomes the object of sightseers himself. But exactly why is he land rowing 1,500 miles across Bali? Jump roping 130,000 times in Indonesia? Sack racing for an hour and a half at the base of Mount Rushmore? Playing 434 games of hopscotch in Cancun, Mexico? And breaking the speed pogo stick record in Antarctica?
Go, 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 right.
No, he's not crazy.
Congratulations.
You see, Ashrita Furman enjoys breaking world records. In fact, he has 62 listings in the world record books, which is a world record unto itself.
I do the records because I love the challenge and because it's become part of my spiritual quest to transcend myself, to discover the deeper part of myself, and I do that through training for these crazy records, pushing myself to the absolute limits.
But how does traveling all over the world fit into his zany challenges?
I'm a part-time travel agent, so as a result, I end up going to many exotic locations around the world. I just get the inspiration to break a record. Immediately, I think of challenging myself in some interesting way.
One of the first records he broke was pogo sticking up Mount Fuji. Ashrita uses a special industrial-strength pogo stick to endure the tough abuse of long-distance pogoing.
This is one of my favorite, absolute favorite records. The first time I saw Mount Fuji, I just fell in love with it. It's so beautiful. I mean, I'd say it's one of the most beautiful natural sights in the world. And I just hopped on my pogo stick and started jumping. And it was just thrilling because, again, here was not only the physical challenge of the miles, but also the mental challenge of, is it even possible?
Ashrita even invented a new sport, aquapogo. He set a new record while vacationing near the Amazon River.
I did it for 3 hours and 40 minutes. It was tough. Now, when I think of that trip of going to Peru, all I think about is pogo sticking in the Amazon. That's how I remember all these trips. These are the highlights of my trips.
Around the same time, another brainstorm. Why not somersault the same route that Paul Revere traversed on horseback?
And I tried it, and it was like, you get dizzy after 10 rolls, and I'm saying, how could somebody possibly do 8 miles? That was a record at the time. And to me, it was a challenge because I felt, okay, if someone else could do it, then there's no reason why I can't do it.
Ashrita somersaulted for the entire 12.5 miles. Ashrita has been setting records for over 25 years. What's next? Rollerblading down Mount Everest? Skateboarding the Great Wall of China? He's still thinking.
Yeah, the way I choose the records is I go through the book and I just kind of let something pop out, something that sounds like fun or it sounds like a great challenge. It seems like an absurd thing to do, and it is in a way, but it also, if you think about it, it's extremely difficult. It requires tremendous concentration, tremendous focus, and really the ability to push yourself way beyond the normal limits of pain.
Next time you go on vacation, keep your eyes open for a man on a pogo stick. And whatever you do, don't break his concentration. If you venture into Donner Pass in Soda Springs, California, right at the peak of winter, you'll think you've wandered into some kind of Wild West time warp. Suddenly, men, women, and children are barreling down the mountain in skis almost as tall as 2-story buildings, wearing costumes right out of the gold rush days.
These are some long boards here.
It's the U.S. National Longboard Ski Championships. And although the mood is light, the competition is fierce. dangerous. The extreme length of the skis allow skiers to accelerate up to 60 miles per hour. And racers have to do it wearing vintage 1860s Western wear, such as Levi's, checkered flannel shirts, and suspenders. That's because these longboard races are a revival of a reckless sport that flourished in Sierra mining camps in the late 19th century.
It's a lot of fun to be here and enjoy it. I really do. I think it's a great thing to happen.
Next to drinking, fighting, and gambling, longboard racing was the principal winter pastime of the miners. Alas, when the mines shut down in the early 1900s, the sport died as well.
Up at the top of the hill right now, we've got...
A few years ago, however, Craig Beck decided to jumpstart the sport once again.
Standing up.
Since they didn't exactly feature longboards at his neighborhood ski shop, Beck had to build the boards himself, copying the design from a picture he found in a book.
The whole idea of the thing is to have fun and to recreate a little piece of history and just get a flavor for what it was like to be in the mining camps 150 years ago and how they spent their winters.
Today, the skiers prepare for the races by working special wax into the 30-pound, 16-foot-long wooden planks made out of Douglas fir.
You just hope you don't hit any ripples in the snow or any pieces of ice or anything, and just hang on.
They strap the skis to their feet and lace up leather bindings that wrap over their boots, and they're ready to fly. If these ski-like objects look hard to control, they are. Skiers have to use a long pole as a brake. They ride the pole as if it were a witch's broom, using their weight to push the trailing end of it into the snow.
Do you get all those grunts on the film?
As some traditional skiers found out very quickly, there is no snow plowing in longboard racing.
Hanging in there. Gonna be very close.
But there is definitely the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in this sport.
First place, David Chisholm.
But it's all worth it at the end of the day, when the awards are handed out and the drinks start to flow. Just like the old mining days. Coming up on Incredible Vacation Videos, resorts are for sissies. How about a vacation on the Texas prairie, rounding up longhorn cattle, even branding them? And a father and daughter share a terrifying sky ride, clinging for dear life when their cable car nearly snaps off the cable. Do you have an incredible vacation video? We'd like to see it. You can reach us on the World Wide Web by logging on to the Travel Channel website at discovery.com or call us at 1-877-SEND-TAPE.
Okay, they're looking for any hot tips. Do you have any?
Meet Catherine Redmond, real-life city slicker. This part-time buckaroo has another life, living in New York City as a financial advisor for Merrill Lynch.
There you go. That would work.
Yeah. One year, though, she decided to take a vacation that was as far away as possible from the hustle and bustle of big city life.
When I plan a vacation, I look for someplace I've never been, non-traditional, to have an experience that isn't run-of-the-mill. And one of the stipulations is that typically there can't be phones or TVs there, so that no one can get a hold of me.
Well, if Catherine's goal was to get herself lost, she succeeded. Not many cell phones on a cattle drive along the Texas-Mexico border by the Rio Grande. The Lone Star State actually enlists the public once a year to help round up the cattle, bring them in, and brand them. Suddenly, Catherine, her sister, and a few other working women found themselves in the desolate Texas desert. Did we mention that most of them had never ridden a horse before?
I think everyone was just looking for a different kind of vacation. No one really knows what to expect. And there's a certain camaraderie that builds up that's nice.
With minimal instruction from the group leaders, Catherine and the others jumped right to their task.
The first day of the cattle drive, I guess we rode for about 5 or 6 hours because the cattle were all over the countryside, and the first thing we had to do was round them up. Big Bend has, I think, the only herd in the United States of longhorn cattle, and if you haven't seen them, they're pretty tremendous looking animals. I mean, their horns are, I guess, 5 or 6 feet across. They're relatively intimidating, even if you were sitting on the back of a horse.
In addition to controlling her horse, Catherine had to dodge cactus, the hot sun, and the occasional rattlesnake.
I had paired up with my sister. There were many times that we looked at each other and said, what the hell are we doing here? And you kind of look around, you're in God's country at this point. And we just kind of said, we did this voluntarily, and this is supposed to be fun, and here we are, and where is everyone? But it was beautiful. There's something about the desert when you're out there that is very peaceful and calm.
After a hard day of range riding, these cowboys were ready to set up camp and pitch a tent. Then there was just enough time to rustle up a hearty plate of grub and sing old cowboy tunes around the campfire.
Bye, my little darling, my pony won't stand.
The days flew by, and on the last day it was time to rope and brand the cattle.
The first step was we had to separate the cows from the calves, which they did reluctantly at best. And then we took the calves one by one, roped them, brought them down, and branded them, which I didn't think I was going to want to participate, but once they explained that when you brand a calf, you're not really burning their skin. In fact, the art to it is that when you brand them, it's just to burn the hair enough to stop the hair from growing back. They get a sense of heat, a heat flash, and if it's done properly, there's no real pain. But you have to bring them down, lay on them, you know, lay across their necks and across their back legs, brand them, and then at the same time, we inoculated them and tagged their ears. And then you let the calf up, you put a little oil over where you branded them and sent them back to mommy, and they were pretty happy about that.
After the last roundup, Catherine was glad she had the whole Wild West holiday on video to show to the tender-footed city folk back home.
Before I went on the trip, everyone kind of kidded us, and they kidded us mainly about the city slickers kind of thing. When we got back, they wanted to know what it was like, but you know, it's very difficult to sit and talk to someone and explain what it's like. I get a rush of adrenaline thinking about it just now. You got this feeling of accomplishment that you said, wow, it was a great feeling.
There is a place in the backcountry of Brazil where visitors are sometimes allowed to ride special mining cable cars up the local mountains. The views are breathtaking. But one day, a father and daughter had more than their breath taken away when disaster struck. One side of their cable car broke off its hinge, and suddenly all that kept them from plunging to a certain death was one small clamp. Father and daughter were afraid to move, trapped 60 feet in the air over the jagged rocks. There was no time to lose. In a heart-stopping rescue attempt, rescuers in another car threw a rope to the girl. She then had to swing from the rope across the chasm and let them pull her to safety. She made it. The father attempted his own risky rescue by throwing his shirt over the top of the heavy cable and using it to slide down to safety. Once safely back on solid ground, father and daughter realized just how fortunate they were that their afternoon pleasure outing didn't end in total disaster. That's all the time we have to share some wild vacation tales from around the globe. Whether you're in the stands looking for thrills, on a horse looking for adventure, or on 16-foot skis looking for the finish line, it all looks even more exciting on Incredible Vacation Videos.
Why is truth stranger than fiction? Travel deep inside our curious world. Coming up next on the Travel Channel.
The wealthy nation of Dubai is a stop for the international jet set. It hosts the most exclusive shopping festival in the world. What do you buy in Dubai? Gold bars. Travel Channel Secrets, Monday and Tuesday nights at 9.